All right, hello and welcome. Today we are going to pull back the curtain on a really powerful tool, one that basically acts like the central nervous system for your entire IT world. I'm talking about System Center Operations Manager, or as pretty much everyone calls it, SCOM. So let's dive right in. Okay, so let me ask you something. What if you could actually predict IT outages before they even happen? You know the drill, right? A critical service goes down, the phone starts ringing off the hook, and everyone's scrambling. But what if? What if you got a heads up that trouble was on the horizon, giving you time to actually fix it before anyone even noticed? That's the dream, right? Well, that's exactly the problem SCOM was designed to solve.
So let's get right to it. What is SCOM, really? What is this watchful guardian we're talking about?
Okay, so at its core, SCOM is a big-time monitoring platform from Microsoft. And its whole job, its entire reason for being, is to pull in this constant stream of data about, well, basically everything in your IT environment. We're talking health, performance, availability, you name it. The goal here is to create one single place, a single source of truth for what's going on. And when I say everything, I'm not kidding. We're talking your Windows and your Linux servers. We're talking the applications running on them, your network gear, your switches, your routers, and it gets even deeper. SCOM can look at specific services and processes, check on ports, and track those super important performance counters. Its reach is, well, it's massive.
Now look, SCOM isn't just collecting all this data for the fun of it, right? It's got three really clear goals. Number one, be proactive. Catch issues before they turn into those nightmare outages. Number two, centralize everything. Stop the madness of jumping between 10 different tools just to see what's happening. And number three, give you intelligent alerts and reports. You know, stuff that actually helps you make sense of all that data.
Okay, that sounds great, but how does it actually pull all this off? To get that, we've got to pop the hood and take a look at its core architecture, the brains of the operation.
First up, you've got the management server. This thing is the absolute heart of the system. It's the command center, the big boss, that coordinates everything and processes all the incoming data.
So a great way to think about it is this. If SCOM as a whole is your IT nervous system, then the management server is the central brain. It's the part that's actually doing the thinking and making sense of all the signals.
So a brain is useless without information, right? So how does it get it? Well, that's where agents come in. An agent is just a tiny piece of software that you install on every single server you want to keep an eye on. Its entire job is to gather up all the local health and performance data and phone it home, right back to the management server.
Yeah, just think of these agents as SCOM's eyes and ears, spread out all across your entire infrastructure. They're constantly on watch, just listening and looking for anything that seems off.
Okay, so you've got all this data flowing in. It has to live somewhere. SCOM actually uses two different databases, which is pretty clever. You have the operations database, the OpsDB. Think of this as SCOM's short-term memory. It's all about what's happening right now. Then you have the data warehouse, or DW. That's the long-term memory, storing all that historical data that's gold for things like reporting and spotting trends over time. Now, for all these pieces to actually talk to each other, your network has to be set up right. I mean, firewalls need to let the traffic through. This here shows you the key ports you need to have open. You can see port 5723, that's the main highway for agents to talk back to the management server. Getting this stuff right is absolutely crucial. If these components can't communicate, the whole system just doesn't work.
All right, so we've got the components down. We've got the brain, the eyes and ears, the memory. But here's the big question. How does SCOM actually know what it's supposed to be looking for? How does it know when something is good versus bad? Well, that's where the real logic kicks in.
The magic behind all of this comes down to something called a management pack, or MP for short. The best way to think of an MP is like a super detailed instruction manual for a specific technology. So you'll have one for SQL Server, another for Windows Server, another for a Cisco switch. And this manual tells SCOM exactly what to monitor, what the definition of healthy is, and what a problem looks like.
Okay, now this is a really, really important concept to get. Inside those management packs, there are two fundamental building blocks, monitors and rules, and they are not the same thing. A monitor is all about tracking the state of something. It answers the question, how are we doing right now? Is this disk healthy? Is it in a warning state, or is it critical? A rule is different. A rule doesn't care about state. It just asks, did something specific happen? Like, did a particular error just pop up in the event log, yes or no? Understanding this difference, honestly, it's fundamental to getting how SCOM thinks.
Okay, so a monitor flips to red, or a rule fires. Bam! SCOM generates an alert. But
an alert just sitting there in a console doesn't really help anyone, does it? The whole point is to get that critical information to the right people and fast.
And getting that alert out the door happens with a pretty straightforward 4-step process. First, the alert gets created. Step 2, a subscription that you've set up basically raises its hand and says, "Hey, I care about that alert." Step 3, the subscription then pushes that notification out through a channel. That could be email, a text message, whatever you've configured. And finally, step 4, it lands with the subscriber. That's the person or the team whose job it is to jump on it.
So let's zoom back out. Why would you go through all the effort to set this up? What's the so what here? It really boils down to one thing: moving from a world of reactive chaos to one of proactive control. And the payoff for using SCOM is, well, it's huge. You get that proactive detection we talked about right at the beginning, seeing problems before your users ever do. You get that single pane of glass, that one source of truth for the health of your entire infrastructure. You get amazing tools like Health Explorer that lets you drill down and find the root cause of a problem in minutes instead of hours. And of course, you can use all that historical data to make genuinely smart decisions about things like capacity planning.
And I want to leave you with this one thought. It's almost like the golden rule of SCOM. If you can't explain why an alert fired and prove it using Health Explorer, you do not know SCOM yet. See, it's not enough to just see an alert. You have to be able to dig in and understand exactly why it happened. When you can do that, that's when you know you've really got it.
So there you have it. We've gone through the what, the how, and the why of SCOM. So the real question now is for you to think about. How would having this kind of central nervous system for your IT, this deep, proactive insight, how would that actually change the way you work day to day? Something to think about. Thanks so much for joining me.